295 BC, the first temple to Venus, the Roman goddess of love, beauty and fertility, is dedicated by Quintus Fabius Maximus Gurgis during the Third Samnite War. 43 BC, Gaius Julius Caesar Octavianus, later known as Augustus, compels the Roman Senate to elect him consul. 947, Abu Yazid, a Karađite rebel leader, is defeated and killed in the Hodna Mountains in modern-day Algeria by Fatimid forces. 1153, Baldwin III of Jerusalem takes control of the Kingdom of Jerusalem from his mother Melisende, and also captures Ascalon. 1458, Pope Pius II is elected the 211th Pope, reigned 1458 to 64. 1504, in Ireland, the Hiberno-Norman de Burkes, and Anglo-Norman Fitzgeralds fight in the Battle of Knockdoe. 1561, Mary, Queen of Scots, aged 18, returns to Scotland after spending 13 years in France. 1604, 80 Years' War. A besieging Dutch and English army led by Maurice of Orange forces the Spanish garrison of Sluis to capitulate. 1612, the Samlesbury Witches. 3 women from the Lancashire village of Samlesbury, England, are put on trial, accused of practicing witchcraft, one of the most famous witch trials in British history. 1666, Second Anglo-Dutch War. Rear Admiral Robert Holmes leads a raid on the Dutch island of Terschelling, destroying 150 merchant ships, an act later known as Holmes's Bonfire. 1692, Salem Witch Trials. In Salem, province of Massachusetts Bay, 5 people, 1 woman and 4 men, including a clergyman, are executed after being convicted of witchcraft. 1745, Prince Charles Edward Stuart raises his standard in Glenfinnan, the start of the Second Jacobite Rebellion, known as the 45 Inches. 1745, Ottoman-Persian War. In the Battle of Kars, the Ottoman army is routed by Persian forces led by Nader Shah. 1759, Battle of Lagos. Naval battle during the 7 Years' War between Great Britain and France. 1772, Gustav III of Sweden stages a coup d'état, in which he assumes power and enacts a new constitution that divides power between the Riksdag and the king. 1782, American Revolutionary War. Battle of Blue Licks, the last major engagement of the war, almost 10 months after the surrender of the British commander Charles Cornwallis following the siege of Yorktown. 1812, War of 1812. American frigate USS Constitution defeats the British frigate HMS Warrior off the coast of Nova Scotia, Canada, earning the nickname Old Ironsides. 1813, Gervasio Antonio de Posadas joins Argentina's second triumvirate. 1839, the French government announces that Louis Daguerre's photographic process is a gift, free to the world. 1848, California Gold Rush. The New York Herald breaks the news to the East Coast of the United States of the gold rush in California. 1854, the First Sioux War begins when United States Army soldiers kill Lakota chief Conquering Bear and in return are massacred. 1862, Dakota War. During an uprising in Minnesota, Lakota warriors decide not to attack heavily defended Fort Ridgely and instead turn to the settlement of New Ulm, killing white settlers along the way. 1909, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway opens for automobile racing. William Bourke and his mechanic are killed during the first day's events. 1920, the Tambov Rebellion breaks out, in response to the Bolshevik policy of Prodrazvyorska. 1927, Patriarch Sergius of Moscow proclaims the declaration of loyalty of the Russian Orthodox Church to the Soviet Union. 1934, the first all-American soapbox derby is held in Dayton, Ohio. 1934, the German referendum of 1934 approves Adolf Hitler's appointment as head of state with the title of Führer. 1936, the Great Purge of the Soviet Union begins when the first of the Moscow trials is convened. 1940, first flight of the B-25 Mitchell medium bomber. It is named in honor of Brigadier General William "Billy" Mitchell, a pioneer of U.S. military aviation. Continued to fly with military operators until 1979. 1941, Germany and Romania signed the Tiraspol Agreement, rendering the region of Transnistria under control of the latter. 1942, World War II. Operation Jubilee. The 2nd Canadian Infantry Division leads an amphibious assault by Allied forces on Dieppe, France and fails. Many Canadians are killed or captured. The operation was intended to develop and try new amphibious landing tactics for the coming full invasion in Normandy. 1944, World War II. Liberation of Paris. Paris, France rises against German occupation with the help of Allied troops. 1945 August Revolution. Viet Minh led by Ho Chi Minh take power in Hanoi, Vietnam. 1953 Cold War. The CIA and MI6 helped to overthrow the government of Mohammad Mossadegh in Iran and reinstate the Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. 1955 in the northeast United States, severe flooding caused by Hurricane Diane claims 200 lives. 1960 Cold War. In Moscow, Russia, Soviet Union, downed American U-2 pilot Francis Gary Powers is sentenced to 10 years imprisonment by the Soviet Union for espionage. 1960 Sputnik program. Korabl Sputnik 2. The Soviet Union launches the satellite with the dogs Belka and Strelka, 40 mice, 2 rats and a variety of plants. 1964 Synchom 3, the first geostationary communication satellite, is launched. 2 months later, it would enable live coverage of the 1964 Summer Olympics. 1965 Japanese Prime Minister Eisaku Sato becomes the first post-World War II sitting Prime Minister to visit Okinawa Prefecture. 1980 Sadia Flight 163, a Lockheed L-1011 TriStar burns after making an emergency landing at King Khalid International Airport in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, killing 301 people. 1980 Otlesen railway accident. In Poland's worst post-war railway accident, 67 people lose their lives and a further 62 are injured. 1981 Gulf of Sidra incident. United States F-14A Tomcat fighters intercept and shoot down 2 Libyan Sukhoi Su-22 fighter jets over the Gulf of Sidra. 1987 Hungerford massacre. In the United Kingdom, Michael Ryan kills 16 people with a semi-automatic rifle and then commits suicide. 1989 Polish President Wojciech Jaruzelski nominates solidarity activist Tadeusz Mazowiecki to be the first non-communist prime minister in 42 years. 1989 Several hundred East Germans cross the frontier between Hungary and Austria during the Pan-European Picnic, part of the events that began the process of the fall of the Berlin Wall. 1991 Dissolution of the Soviet Union. The August coup begins when Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev is placed under house arrest while on holiday in the town of Foros, Ukraine. 1991 Crown Heights riot begins. The Crown Heights riot was a race riot that took place from August 19 to August 21, 1991, in the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn, New York City. Black residents attacked Orthodox Jewish residents, damaged their homes, and looted businesses. 1999 in Belgrade, Yugoslavia, tens of thousands of Serbians rally to demand the resignation of Federal Republic of Yugoslavia President Slobodan Milosevic. 2002 Konkala Mi-26 crash. A Russian Mi-26 helicopter carrying troops is hit by a Chechen missile outside Grozny, killing 118 soldiers. 2003 A truck bomb attack on United Nations headquarters in Iraq kills the agency's top envoy Sergio Vieira de Mello and 21 other employees. 2003 Shmuel Hanavi bus bombing. A suicide attack on a bus in Jerusalem, planned by Hamas, kills 23 Israelis, 7 of them children. 2013 The Damara Ghat train accident kills at least 37 people in the Indian state of Bihar.